welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shelly, and Shelly's hot topic is going to be kind of weird. It's about your ex, right? Or when your ex lives very close by. And this is a close one for me. My ex-husband lives 5 or 6 minutes from me and my current husband. And we share a daughter and we share 2 grandchildren and a lot of history. I've known him since I'm 15 years old, right? So, and my current husband is pretty tolerant, albeit that's wearing kind of thin, especially since he had a stroke. He's got like no patience. My ex-husband has a lot of physical problems and health issues. He's got a lot going on. So when he and his wife divorced, he said he moved closer to me because then he knew he'd see our grandkids more. I'm not sure what that, I mean, I guess I get it. And him and I have remained friends over the years. We don't have a mean relationship. We have vacationed together, my husband and him and his ex-wife, and we spend holidays and time with our grandchildren, and it hasn't been a big problem. But now my husband getting older and post-stroke and doesn't have a lot of patience. My ex-husband, he can, be a little difficult to get along with. So that's kind of strange, right? I used to tell people we put the funk in dysfunctional, because we all hung out together and, we holidays together. And I think that is really good for kids and grandkids, right? I think if you can get along, if everybody can get along and just kind of be civil for the kids and the grandkids, I think that's paramount, right? I think that has to be the main consideration. My grandson, his father, is just real difficult to get along with. I mean, him and I have struggled for years, and I tried really hard to make that work for my grandson. That's my primary concern. Is he happy? So I think as parents and grandparents, I think we need to make that extra effort for our kids and our grandkids, right? Let's all get along. Like, what could be so important, right? What drama? What, you had a fight 20 years ago? You cheated on me 25 years ago? Like, look, we all moved on, right? We're all doing better. So, but it can be really, really hard. My ex living 5-6 minutes away, sometimes I have to put him in check a little bit. Like, look, I ain't your wife no more. Like, he gets a tone sometimes, and especially now, like I said, he's got some health issues going on, and I try to be, really, really super patient. But sometimes I have to say, hey, excuse me, simmer down. Easy, cowboy. I ain't your wife no more. I ain't been your wife for 30 years, So that can bring its own set of challenges. But yeah, I don't know if you guys go through that. I've met other couples that they're like, oh yeah, this is my ex and his new wife, and they all kind of hang out and do things. And I don't know, is that more common than not now? I mean, I wouldn't, although I don't know if it's a boomer thing. I know that, I noticed that my daughter, there's not a lot of that going on. My daughter and her husband, she's not yippity-yap good friends with her ex. So you don't see a lot of that going on, which is sad. They need to do that. They need to put their crap aside. And it's all about the kids, right? We want to set them up to succeed. And the more peace there is, and the more, working together and collaboration and making sure these kids are okay, it kind of makes it okay for them. So, I don't know. Do you guys have a lot of that? Do you have, the exes and you all hang out together and, holiday together? And, because we do. We do that. Like I said, we put the funk in dysfunctional. It's kind of weird. And it can be overly uncomfortable sometimes. I remember, this is going way back, my ex-husband's ex-wife. that makes sense. And my ex-husband's ex-wife, she was drinking one time and she was just really just like all over the place, right? And she was getting a little insulting, right? Like I had to kind of say, hey, yo, like I had to like walk away from her. But the important thing is I put it right where it was. It was, she was drinking and she was acting a fool. She's over it now, and I'm not, what am I going to hold on to that forever? Like, oh, I can't be around you. That's ridiculous. Like, let's be adults, right? Let's be the grown-ups in the room. So, and I think we all need a lot more of that. So, we all get along pretty good for the most part, but there are moments, right? So I was wondering, do any of you have that? Like, do you hang out with your exes or your husband or your wife's ex? How do you feel about that? My husband doesn't have any contact or any relationship at all with his ex-wife, and I honestly don't know that that's him as much as it's her. I think she has some type of feelings going on. I don't know. Like I met her years ago when their youngest was getting married, and she was like, ooh, she was not nice. She was not nice to me at all. She wasn't looking to be buds, which that's fine too. Like she's living her life, I'm living mine, whatever. But yeah, my ex and I, we keep things pretty civil. But what do you guys do? Do you have that? Do you have your ex around? Do you have a good relationship? Or maybe your spouse's ex, are they around? I wonder, as women though, right? How would I feel if his ex-wife was hanging out with us? I don't know. Would I feel some type of way? It's always been my ex-husband around. It's never really been his ex-wife. So I don't know how I'd feel about that. I know us women can be like a little bit territorial, like, nah, I ain't feeling it. And so I don't know. It was just a thought. I was wondering what you guys think. Do you have your ex around or your spouse's ex around, and how's that dynamic work out? So far so good for us. I think it works out more than it doesn't, right? It's good for the kids and the grandkids. But anyway, that was my thought for the day. You guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.